All right, we're live, and this is a quick video on the European power prices. I want to go add my spreadsheet here, just share what we might be looking at in terms of a GDP drag. So this, as I said in the comments there, a lot of this is going to come from the research that's been done on crude oil and its relationship with the GDP. So there's two things that the markets don't like. One is lack of profitability, and the other is uncertainty. Okay, an energy shock has both. A lot of research has been done on oil price shocks, but electricity price shocks are going to function much the same way. That's my working hypothesis. Let's just look at some very bare bones statistics about European energy. They use 2,800 terawatt hours per year. That's 233 terawatt hours per month. A terawatt hour is obviously a million megawatt hours. Some of that's seasonal. So in a cold month in the winter, this is going to be upwards of 250 terawatt hours, but we're just going to use that number. Now, looking at what is the raw average for electricity price in Europe, those numbers were a little hard for me to get to, but I'm using 60 as a baseline because that's the industrial electricity number for Sweden and Denmark in 2020. It also pretty closely matches, like if you just eyeball the first 6 months of the year when energy prices were not abnormal. These are German power prices. And then you can see starting in the third quarter, we basically, at the time, it looked bad. Now it looks not so bad, but this was, almost 50% increase quarter over quarter, even more. And now it's truly gone bananas in terms of prices. So, but what does that mean? Well, a lot of it comes from the fact that there's nuclear offline and gas from Russia has been tight. And they don't have a lot of great ways to substitute for that quantity. They've got, more coal they can use. They've got other fossil fuels they can try to substitute, but not in the same quantities. There's almost an order of magnitude difference. Again, they're consuming close to 2.8 quadrillion watt hours in a year. These are the current prices. They're really unprecedented. Right now, we're talking about 400 plus in many countries, 400 euros per megawatt hour. Even month to date for averages, Switzerland is above 300, France is above 300. We're 22 days into this month. Okay, Eurozone total for this month is about 277, right? The daily average today, though, is 410. So if we're subtracting off what they're used to paying at 60, okay, 60 euros per megawatt hour, then that's a marginal cost of daily $348 per megawatt hour. You're going to have to multiply that by the daily use, which this time of year is almost a terawatt hour. Okay, so every day there's a marginal cost to the Eurozone of $2.7 billion. This is probably understating it because it's cold right now. They're using more than usual. So it's probably north of $3 billion a day. Month to date, that number again is probably north of that. It's probably closer to 45. And this is the year to date, 106 billion. 20 of that was marginal in the Q3. About 80 of that is in Q4. And again, we're adding $3 billion a day. $3 billion a day of unexpected expenses, right? That's not a lot of money in a 15 trillion euro economy. And I'm sorry, these are euros. I'm talking euros. That's not a lot of money in a 15 trillion euro economy. It doesn't sound like much. 3 billion euros a day does not sound like much. It is a lot, though, if it's an unexpected account, an unexpected expense. It's kind of like, let's say you make $100,000 a year, or let's say you make $150,000 a year, just to make this easy. Okay, it would be like having, oh man, I can't believe I'm struggling with the math here. Okay, so if it's 3 billion would be like having an extra $30 per day expense, okay, on your personal balance sheet. That's the equivalent. If you made 150K, it'd be like $30 a day of unexpected expense. Not a lot in any given day. It's not going to break the bank. But now you're talking about a month. All of a sudden, you've got a $900 extra expense that you weren't expecting, right? So in the way that multipliers work, and there's uncertainty, we're talking about an entire economy here. This is where I start to rely on the research done on crude oil shocks. So this is a graph. This was my master's thesis, but there's lots of literature out there that's similar in terms of oil price shocks and the effect on the economy, right? So this is an example where that the financial crisis, we also had $150 barrel oil just preceding that, and it predicted an 8% drag roughly on the economy. We all know what happened in the financial crisis. Using that same math, we would predict roughly every $45 billion of euros of extra expenditure in energy in one quarter is going to create a 1% drag on the European economy in 2022. Okay, so we've already priced in about two of those. So we're at a 2% drag on the euro economy in 2022, and every 17 additional days at this level will create another 1% drag on the euro economy. Again, why is that? It's an impulse response function to extra unexpected expenditures, right? There's two ways that companies are going to react to this. One is they're not going to be as profitable as they thought they were going to be, right? Because it's an extra, again, $3 billion a day, euros. And then the second is they're uncertain. Every day, price is going up. Companies don't like uncertainty. Markets don't like uncertainty. And so what that does is it creates more conservative behavior, less investment. You don't get the virtuous cycles, okay? So this is a big deal. It's been a big deal. Now it's a really big deal because even in best case scenario, warm weather starts getting forecast into the end of the forecast, and we start seeing the electricity prices come down. Let's say the Germans relax on the Nord pipeline, and Russia starts sending lots of gas. Okay, great. Best case scenario, we're still probably going to have another 10 days of this. Best case scenario. And let's say prices go right back to 60, which I think is not likely. Okay, but that means that we're getting another 30 billion. That means by the end of this, we're close to a 3% drag on the Eurozone in 2022 already. Okay, every day, every 17 days is another percent. That's just considering that we're going to have a smooth ending to this. 10 days out and we're back at the average price, which doesn't seem likely. So this is getting to be a very large deal. The euro economy, obviously, the second largest economy in the world. And so I think this should get reflected into more and more estimates on an ongoing basis. Okay, like world economy, this is going to start mattering. You're going to start seeing some basis points taken off world GDP because of this event. So something to keep an eye on, and definitely something that could add to the negativity that's going on right now. So keep your eyes on this. Remember, every day basically is another 0.2 to 0.3%. I'm sorry, is another point. What is it? 17 days. It's about 0.06% drag on the Eurozone economy in 2022. Okay, big deal. Hope you enjoyed. Bye-bye.